moving on to relationships.
Yes.
Or as I said before, sexual relationships. So, obviously, again, you're a taken man.
Yes.
and I am a single gentleman.
Yes.
So, why don't you talk a bit about what you consider to be healthy about your relationship, and maybe people watching can relate to that healthiness?
Okay, so relationships for me always have been and always will be, as I kind of realised this 4 or 5 years ago, is balance. It's a relationship does not work without balance. That is the most important part, the most important value. And that's kind of what I try to follow and rely on. So in my relationship, I'll try to kind of balance time like this. So like time to spend on projects and hobbies and such. Time where you really need to focus on your career and your path and get that done. And then obviously you have your time where you spend with your partner and you kind of have experiences and opportunities and you have a good time together. And then obviously like keeping everything balanced. So not, to me, what's really important, what I think a lot of relationships lack is distance. I do think like distance is really important. So specifically in my relationship, we'll not see each other once or twice a week. Like 1 or 2 days, whether it's like together or apart, you know what I mean? And that is so I can have time, like some call it me time, time to kind of switch off. To kind of
emotion time.
Yeah, it's either, so in that time, I'm either doing this, or I'm playing guitar, or I'm recording or writing music, or literally just watching TV, like watching a movie or watching a show or something like that, or just thinking about in doing anything but kind of revolved around the relationship, which sounds bad and a lot of people would disagree with it. Yeah. But I think it's really healthy, because if you're with someone 24/7, and this is something that I kind of had a realization of, if you're with someone 24/7 and there isn't that distance and that break, that's what leads to
that's what leads to
the arguments and the disagreements and the kind of it's basically just you get sick of each other eventually. Essentially, you need, both partners in a relationship need time to focus on careers, hobbies, passions, whatever it may be. They need that time away. Like obviously Stacia has time where she spends with the horse, and she looks after that and does whatever in that side of things in that world.
What she does with horses is none of our business.
And then kind of she has the hobbies as well, so she has like drawing and kind of artistic things, and obviously she has a few friends as well. And then obviously I have my million, trillion, gazillion things that I do and I'm a part of.
Very busy man. You're very busy man.
So basically,
don't become dependent on each other.
Basically that's the idea of it. You can't rely on each other in any way. You can't become dependent on it. You've got to have your own lives, but come together when you want to, when you need to be, and when you're together, switch off from everything else as well. So you're 100% focused on each other at all times. Yeah. That's what creates like the really loving part of the relationship, and it's going to lead to less arguments and more communication and things like that. Yeah. So again, communication, distance, and kind of respect are probably the 3 core things I would say that makes a relationship work and keeps it balanced. So relationships are all about balance for me in a short kind of sum up there.
Well, I'm just going to go a bit like kind of deeper on what you said about having your own personal hobbies and stuff like that, because that's a very good point. Like if you are with someone and you both don't have anything but each other, that's when relationships start to fail. Yeah. Because you are so dependent on each other. If one doesn't do something, the other one flips out because whatever. But at the same time, if one person has something and the other doesn't, the other one becomes jealous. So if you had all this stuff and Stacia did nothing until you arrived, she gets jealous of the time that you're putting into that shit. Yeah. So what happens then is she resents you for that. She resents the time that you're spending on those stuff because she doesn't have anything herself. Yeah, exactly. So she will, subconsciously or consciously, try to bring you down and get you away from that because she doesn't feel.
Or anyone that is in that situation. Yeah, anyone that's in that situation. Relating back to kind of everyone.
Yeah. So like if you have a lot of things, like you always have like a friend or whatever. Like you do really well, they're doing really shit, and they try and bring you back down. They're like, oh, you don't need that shit. You don't need to do that. Like it's cool. You don't need to do that today. You can come out with me. Come have a drink.
Yeah.
No, this is my shit. I'm focusing on.
Exactly.
Okay, but a lot of people in relationships, they can't make the distinction between the two because then they feel bad that they're letting the partner down.
They can't draw the line either. To be honest, I do face that every so often. Kind of a form of guilt where it's like, if I've had a really busy week and it's like I need to get all this stuff done, and I'm like, I can't spend time with you here, I can't spend any time with you there. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm still lacking that balance with me going to see friends or whatever because I'm so focused on like job opportunities and such. I do have that kind of feeling in the back of my mind of guilt almost. But then I remember like, I shouldn't feel that because if you respect each other fully in a relationship, like equally, you don't need to worry about things like that necessarily, like because it's respect. That's what respect allows you to do. It allows you to not have that worry.
Because there's a lot of when you said the time spent together, fully switch off. Working in a restaurant, I see this all the time, and I just want to like if I could genuinely slap people that I would, if I could genuinely slap guests that come in, I would beat straight across my head because they come in. You take a drink order or whatever, and then what do? They go texting. I'm like, who the fuck are you texting? She's right there, or he's right there. Like, who are you texting? Like, be engaged in that time because although you're together, you're not together.
This comes into family for me as well. Yeah. So like
family dinners and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you say you get like a mum and a dad, 2 kids, right? Table of 4, right?
Table for 4.
And they order the food. They get all that sorted, the drinks, food, blah, blah, blah. And then what do? As soon as they're waiting for the food, hand the kids like an iPad or something like that. And just like leave them be until they're busy eating the food. But to me, that's not switching off and spending time as a family. No. Which is really important and I believe it's really important. Again, I don't know if it's because we were brought up in a generation where when we were kids, we didn't really have that technology. We didn't really have much technology at all in that way.
I had a Game Boy.
Yeah, but again, that was kind of in slightly later years as well. You know what I mean? Towards like the age of 10, etc. But
for relationships, you need to focus on quality, not quantity of time.
Yeah.
So if you are sat together, if you make time to go out to a restaurant together, you go to that fucking restaurant together and you put your phones down. You leave everything at the door and you focus on each other on that time.
I'm gonna bring the wonderful Gary V into this right now. So he really has a very strong view on like being a parent and kind of family life and stuff. He's actually going to write a book on it one day called Perfectly Parented. And his view is, obviously you know Gary, so Monday to Friday he's God knows where, flying around the world doing meetings and speeches and everything, right?
Hustle.
Exactly. But he said in every single video, Friday nights, Saturday and Sunday, so the weekend, he literally goes home, switches his phone off, completely cuts off from the entire world, his business, his everything, puts everything away and spends 100% of his attention to his kids every single time. And he believes that's the most valuable thing. Like he says, like people that work 9 to 5s, like, so Gary doesn't see his wife or kids pretty much at all Monday to Friday, right? But he said that the time that he 100% devotes to them on the weekend makes up for it because he's fully with them, he's taking them places, he's doing things with them, and he's not paying attention to anything else whatsoever. And to him, that's more valuable than someone that works like a 9 to 5, comes over at 5 o'clock, slouches on the TV, like watches the TV, slouches on the couch, like waits for his like wife to cook dinner or whatever, like maybe spends a half an hour to an hour with the kids and that's it, a day, you know what I mean? So like that, there's that balance, and that kind of just jogged my memory there when you were talking about
the quality of time.
Exactly, it's the time that you spend basically.
Yeah, because you don't remember the time, you don't remember being on your phone. Say you went like your local pub or whatever with a friend. You don't remember what you scrolled through on Facebook that day. Exactly. You remember the conversation that you had.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about the quality over quantity of time, especially when you're a couple, and especially with you and Stacia. I can't imagine. Like I know you take pictures of your food. I've seen your fucking Instagram, But it's like, hashtag.
Right, that's literally the only time I get the phone out, if it's a couple's dinner.
See, there's that good thing where you put the phones in the middle of the table, first person to reach for it has to pay for the dinner.
Exactly, it's a good thing. I make a very good point of that because Stacey is guilty of it sometimes, but I'm kind of like, I'm nice about it. I'll just be like, can we please just kind of put our phones to the side and talk, basically, because that's what means the most to me. That's what's valuable to me. That's what keeps the balance there. Again, relating back to balance. So,
but going back to the topic of like personal relationships, another thing that we mentioned with relating back to mothers for again women is the emotional side of it.
Yeah.
So this is one thing that I personally struggle with, and that's one of my, because everyone in this field of self-development has an issue that they constantly work to overcome, and mine is emotional like depth, because I'm a very analytical person, so my mind's like picking bits apart, and I don't feel it, I think it.
Exactly.
So, but then if I get an emotion, I'll pick it apart with logic, which is the worst thing. So I was never really able to do much emotional attachment to things. It was more like logically I have a girlfriend, not emotionally I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
So getting to understand someone on an emotional level and understanding your partner is very important as well. So like your mum understands you emotionally, you go to her for emotional support. But a partner is a bit more intimate than, say, your emotional connection with a mother. You have to fully open up and express what's going on.
Let yourself go. Almost.
Let yourself go. Yeah. Exactly. But that's where a lot of people have trouble. They don't know how, because of this world of technology now. We don't know how to emotionally open up anymore. We're focusing on we're sending people emojis to show us how we're doing. We can't show that emotion anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You lose that. Yeah.
Most people would rather send a love heart than physically go up to someone and say I love you.
Yeah.
You'd rather just send a love heart because it's, you know how to do it. But if you
simplicity as well.
Exactly. Like when was the last time you saw someone like actually ask someone out on a date in person? It's always over text now because they can cover up that emotional side.
Yeah, exactly.
So that emotional connection is so badly lacking these days. That's my personal view. That's my experience anyway. And I mean, for when was that? 17. When I was 17. Okay, so like the 2 months, so like what was it, December, so like October time, right?
Okay.
I'd been with this girl like nearly a year or something like that, and then her parents separated, and I was like, oh shit, okay, right, but I didn't know how to emotionally communicate that to her. I didn't know that emotional side. Exactly. And then in the December she left me, and then the following April my parents separated, and I'm like, what's missing? Like I couldn't emotionally deal with all that at once. It was like where I was like, but so I had to,
I need the answers.
I need the emotional answers, but I wasn't an emotional person, so I couldn't get. There was a barrier inside that I couldn't open up emotionally about anything. And I think that's why, like, you know, when you look back over past relationships, you're like, why did it end? You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely think that part of that was my emotional withdrawal from that. So I couldn't show the emotional side. I didn't know how to deal with emotions.
Looking back on it now, you can see that.
Looking back now, I realize that I can't be an emotional person, but I don't know how to express emotions when, like, like I know what anger feels like, I know what happiness feels like, but the deeper emotions like love or like that connection that I feel is missing in modern day relationships is a struggle to
comprehend.
Show through. So like I love watching you and Stacey together because it's just backwards banter. Like I can insult people all I want because I'm a very insulting person. But it's not an emotional thing. So would you say that was would you say you and Stacey have that emotional connection? Or I
would say that's one of the things that makes it work so well.
Okay, so that was Thoughts and Emotions Life Discussion Series 3. That's a hell of a mouthful. We will see you in the next video.